I yeah, back at it. So yeah, that's what we got on Clark. Then we get Wells. Wells is the Chancellor's son. He gets sent down there. They don't ever tell you what Wells did to get put on this ship. But you know he gets sent down there to be down there with Clark. Obviously, he has a relationship with her. You can see that from the jump. I Clark is kind of rude to him. Like obviously, there's history there. Like I said, I've seen the show a lot, so I know what's going on. But I mean, I don't want to ruin it for people who are watching it. But obviously, there's something there, and we find out why. Oh, we find out in the show, like she's upset because she thinks Wells is the one. Wells put her father got her father killed. Wells told his dad, obviously, the chancellor, he got her father Florida. Uh, and that's the reason why he's there because he does care about Clark and he wants to make sure that she's safe. Obviously, he's they're friends. Um, then we get Finn, who's the fucking worst. I hate Flynn. I don't want to say I hate, but because hate is a strong word, but I strongly dislike Flynn. And anybody who likes Finn and owns a 100 Finn, please explain to me, like in the captions, why you like Finn. Why? What would possess you to like Finn? First of all, he's the reason why we can't communicate with the Ark when we first land because he wants to unbuckle himself. He gets these other dudes to unbuckle themselves and they break the wires. So now we can't communicate because he wants to be Finn, cool effing Finn, the spacewalker. We find out that he gets sent there because, you know what I mean, he was doing the same dumb shit that he was doing when they got sent down there. He was outside the Ark using oxygen to walk in space, doing just shit that he wants to do. Like, I can't, man, I really don't like Finn. He's just so he does that showing the reason why he's the worst. Then the next people we're introduced to is the Blakes, Octavia Blake and um, Bellamy, Bellamy Blake, the only brothers and sisters on the entire show. The only ones. They the only ones. Like nobody else got real blood siblings. Bellamy was the only person on the whole entire arc who oh, who had to play with his little sister. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my little sister, but you know, back in the day when you were the youngest, it's like, oh, make sure you play with your sister, play with your. He was the only one who had to do that. Nobody else, everybody else was only child. They had their own toys. They didn't have to share with nobody else. That was their stuff. He, it was different for him. So we find out Octavia's there because she was born second child. You can't have two children. The funny thing, he was like 16 years, nearly a record. So that means somebody else was able to hide their kid longer than they were able to hide Octavia, which is crazy when you think about it. That they were able to. I mean, you got to think if there's only so many people on this arc. I mean, yes, there was 12 nations, but I believe what was it the total count like 1,300. I believe once like episode 2 or 3 they'll tell us. I believe it's 1,300 people on the arc. Like you mostly know everybody, and for you to hide someone for 16 years is crazy. But the fact that someone hid their child longer than that is outstanding. Like outstanding. So we find out that that's the reason why she is part of the 100. We also find out why Bellamy is there. Bellamy's there because he wants to protect Octavia. That's his little sister. You know what I mean? You'll find out my sister, my problem. Like you know what I mean? That is a main thing about Bellamy. But the worst, not the worst. The thing is that he had to attempt to assassinate the chancellor to get down there. We don't know who put him up to it just yet, but we know that he killed the chancellor, well, tried to kill the chancellor so he can get sent down to the dropship, shit down with the 100. So technically, it's not 100; it's 101 right now. If we do our count, it's 101 people who were sent down. Two of them died, so now we're back down to 99 people from who've landed on Earth and successfully departed from the dropship. Radioactive is a terrible song. We don't even have to spend that much time on it, but just know that it's gonna come up again. But it's a freakily bad song, a really terrible song. So we move on. That's what we really learned. We learned that Octavia is ready to go. She is like she's been locked up. She's ready to let her. She's ready to let that top off. Like she's ready to go, ready to pop. She gonna pop. She ready. Rockstar, lifestyle, like she ready. She's been locked up too long, and she's ready to let that joint go. And that's the vibe you get from her. Bellamy's very selfish. He's like, nah, man, I killed somebody, and they gonna come down here and kill me because on the arc you got killed for everything. So, I mean, I'm not gonna blame him. I probably think the same thing. Like, you know what? The only person who I really care about is already down here, Octavia. I don't care about nobody else up there. So, yeah, let's get these bracelets off so that they don't come back down here. We ain't gonna talk about the imagery of, Wells getting his bracelet getting taken off by getting jumped, basically. But, I mean, I guess that had to happen. Wells had to get bit. Like, if we get Wells's off, Chancellor's definitely not gonna come down here because his son is dead. He's gonna think his son is dead, even if. But I mean, guys, Penn. He knew the chancellor. He didn't know. He thought the chancellor was dead. But I guess. I get. Well, he's the chancellor's son. I don't know the hierarchy. I don't know. He just said he needed Wells. He needed Wells to die because he's a bigger. Yeah. If Wells dies, then whoever's up there, they're like, well, the chancellor's son died, so we can't continue with this. Just kind of suckage, but yeah, that's who we meet. We meet so far. They go out, and then we go ahead. And we meet the bitch's fucking character Murphy. He's a pussy. Like as of right now, later on Murphy becomes. I don't want to give no spoilers or anything, but Murphy becomes better. But right now Murphy is a bitch. Like he is the worst. Though, when he gets in that fight with Wells and he trips Wells or whatever, what was the problem with that? Nah, I've been in a couple scuffles, you know what I mean? Through a couple 1-2s with a couple of them, you know what I mean? Got caught a couple times too myself. I ain't front, but if I land a trip and you land on the ground, bad luck. Bad news for you, because it's game time now. ACG boots, Timberland boots, straight bang bang, stump mode, bang bang. You're gonna catch one of these. I ain't even let you get back up, let alone if you get back up and you limping. Oh yeah, definitely advantage game time. So I don't understand. We criminals, so why is there rules to this fight? You know what I mean? This guy's jumping off the dropship like, how about we wait for a fair fight? I cannot stand you. Fin, get out of here. Get out of here with your face. I can't stand you. You look prototypical. Plain and simple. That's what you look like. Prototypical. I'll leave it like that. He a bitch. So we meet Murphy. Don't know right now why Murphy is on there. We do know that his parents got floated by Wells' dad, as he said. That's the reason why he has anger towards Wells and towards everybody else, apparently, because, if your parents get murdered, you'd probably be upset too. Same way that Bellamy feels. Like, why would I listen to you? Like, your dad killed my mom, so. Yeah, it's pretty reasonable why everybody doesn't like Wells. At the same time, Wells, you know, he does have kind of a elitist attitude on the low. Like, even towards Jasper and Monty, he's like, yo, back up. Like, what? Like, bro, why are you acting like that? Yo, chill. Like, stop looking down on us. We all here. We all trying to get here. We all trying to make it. You know what I mean? The fact that Murphy don't know how to spell die, like, are we trying to make him stupid, illiterate, or like what? What was that about? Or was that like a joke? And why was he just like playing with him? Like, if you really was gonna body him, why do you? You know what? Never mind. So we find out about them. We find out about who Jasper and Monty is, the potheads. That's the reason why they, what I mean, they mess with the plants on the art, getting too high, making moonshine, whatever it is. That's the reason why they criminals, because, you know what I mean? Potheads, nothing wrong with that shit. Call me the red-eyed goose for a reason. Yeah. So, with that being said, that's the reason why they're there. Um, Clark's like, yeah, we gotta find Mount Weather. So they go trek to go ahead and find Mount Weather. So that's where all the supplies is at. That's where whatever they're looking for, they need. The imagery in season one, all my 100 vets know, like, it's crazy. How, like, the very first episode and, like, how throughout the first season, like, they tried to make the Earth seem, like, real different. Like, yo, this changed, this is real. But, like, as the seasons went on, they were like, yeah, Earth ain't really that much different. Maybe. It's just, I don't know. Like, the two-headed deer, the big-ass serpent thing that was in the water, the lights in the forest.